Lori Moran, and I'm an equine science major from Leonardtown, Maryland.
And I'm Maeve Perrin, an equine industry and management major from Midlothian, Virginia. Today, we are going to be talking about air quality in stables
And respiratory diseases.
So today we are going to be talking about air quality and keeping our horses' respiratory systems healthy. So I'm sure you know that when we breathe, we're inhaling air, and that the oxygen that's in air keeps us alive and powers our bodies. But did you know that oxygen is not the only thing that's in air? Air is made up of a bunch of different gases, and it can also carry other things with it. When we are talking about the term air quality, that means everything that's in the air and that's carried by the air. When we say an environment, like a stable, has good air quality, that means that the air is free of stuff that could hurt our lungs or our horse's lungs if they get into our lungs when we inhale that air. Anything that's in the air can potentially be inhaled by us or our horses. If there is a location that has poor air quality, that means that there's stuff in the air that could be damaging to our horse's lungs or could lead to respiratory illness. There are three main things that can lead to poor air quality. The first are noxious gases. So I mentioned that the air is made up of lots of different gases, and that the oxygen that we need to stay alive is one of those gases. Since oxygen and a lot of the other things we inhale are really important for us, that means that not all gases are bad. But some gases are bad for our health, and those things are called noxious gases. The most common noxious gases that are found in stables are ammonia, which is found in urine and can build up if stalls aren't cleaned regularly, and carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, which are both found in the exhaust of farm equipment like tractors. If these noxious gases are allowed to build up, then they can reach levels that can make our horses sick when they're inhaled. The second thing that can lead to poor air quality is humidity. So humidity is the amount of moisture in the air, and some stables will have more moisture because of the climate that they live in. If it's been raining outside, a lot of times the air has more humidity than if it's been really dry. But humidity can make it harder for our horses to breathe, and it also can make bacteria and other germs grow faster, which can lead to more cases of respiratory illness. But the other way that stables can become humid is from our horses breathing. As horses breathe in and out, they release water with every exhale. The average horse exhales up to 2 gallons of water a day. 2 gallons just from breathing. And this is just one horse exhaling this much water in one day. If you have a stable of, say, 10 horses, that's 20 whole gallons of water put into the air every day just from our horses breathing. The third thing is dust. So dust is lots of tiny particles that are carried in the air. And stables have much higher amounts of dust in the air than other buildings because dust comes off of things like hay, bedding, and even the animals. While no environment is going to be completely free of dust, noxious gases, or humidity, it's important to try and limit the amounts of these things in the air around our horses so that horses are breathing air that has the best air quality possible.
Here at UNH, we have a horse named Otto. He came here with a pre-existing respiratory disease. The best thing for him would be 24/7 turnout to help with air quality. However, at UNH, it is not possible for him to stay out here all the time, so we took every measure possible in his stall to make his air quality a little cleaner. Let's go check it out. Now that we've transported to Otto's stall, you can see here that his door to the outside is very open. This allows for good ventilation. The bad air can leave and all the fresh air can come in for his healthy lungs. Then if we move here, you can see he has a hay net here, which normally if he didn't eat it all, has some soaked hay. This allows for the hay to be less dusty, and so when he pulls out the hay from the hay net, dust doesn't fly into the air. It reduces the dust in the air. And then if we move over here, you can see that the entrance of the barn is super close to his stall. His stall is right next to it. This allows for all the fresh air from the outside of the front of the barn to come in, and all the bad air again to leave, also leaving for great ventilation.
Chores like cleaning stalls and sweeping can make the air dusty. It's a good idea to do these chores while your horses are turned out so that they don't have to breathe the dusty air. This way, the dust can settle or leave the stable before the horses come in. Hay is another big source of dust, so it's important when feeding your horses hay that you buy hay that's as dust-free as possible. For horses that have existing respiratory diseases, one thing that's commonly done is soaking hay. Soaking hay in water limits the amount of dust that is released from the hay as the horses eat it. Soaking hay can be done for just about 15 minutes or less, just to get the hay wet. And you don't want to soak it for too long because the longer it soaks, the less nutritional value the hay will have. Here you can see some hay that's been soaked. This one is soaking right now, it's in the water. And this one was just soaked and has come out of the water and it's ready to feed to a horse. It's important to feed the soaked hay right away because when you soak it, it doesn't wash off the dust. It just wets the dust down so that it doesn't come off as the horse is eating it. So if you wait too long before feeding your horse, the hay can dry out again and the dust will still be there. Some farms use hay nets when feeding hay all the time, even dry hay. And that can be handy, but scientists have actually found out that more dust is released into the air when horses eat hay from hay nets when compared to when they're eating it off of the ground or from a low feeder. So, if possible, it's actually beneficial for your horse to eat loose hay that's fed from the ground or a low feeder.
Regardless of the air quality and ventilation your horse is exposed to, it is still extremely important to check your horse for any common signs of respiratory disease. These signs include a runny nose, a cough at rest or at work, and an unwillingness to work, especially if your horse normally loves it. If you think you notice any of these respiratory symptoms, it is important to contact any adult, such as your parent, another barn member, or even your riding instructor. They may think it's nothing, or it could be something, so it never hurts to check.